All right. So I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to for a long time. But now's the best time than ever. A better time than ever. Why not? So today I want to talk about atrazine. Atrazine is a common pesticide put on corn, sorghum. Excuse me if I don't know how to pronounce that. Sugar and like macadamia nuts, things like that. It's one of the most uh, heavily used pesticides, herbicides, whatever you want to call it. Very dangerous chemical. Now, all around us, whether it's food, water, these chemicals are going to be absorbed into our body through a wide range of things, and it seems to be going to be more common. There's more and more chemicals being introduced into our foods, and then now you have artificial meat being created, and we don't know the effects of that, but it's probably not going to be good. There's not a lot of things they introduce that's new that is good for the advancement of our species. Uh, Now I want to get to this. New study confirms atrazine's effects across a wide range of species, including us. Row crop corn near a well that was sampled for the reconnaissance of herbicide concentrations in Midwest groundwater. With every passing year, the evidence of atrazine's harmful environmental and human health effects grows stronger. Now, a new study summarizes over a decade of research has further confirmed some truly scary stuff about atrazine, the most commonly detected pesticide contaminant of ground and surface water. Atrazine both demasculinizes and feminizes vertebrate male gonads. Now, that alone probably triggers some people. That is something that Alex Jones would say. Chemicals turning the frogs gay. Now, when you first hear that, you might just think it's silly, it's nonsense. Of course, there's no chemicals that could turn frogs gay, but yes, this is it. This now it's used to uh, stop photosynthesis in broadleaf plants, but it's in such wide use that it's going to be harmful to us as well. Now, when it's saying it demasculinizes and feminizes vertebrae, what exactly does that mean? It's destroying your testosterone producing glands. Now, across America, testosterone levels are dropping, male strength is dropping, sperm rates are dropping. All these things are dropping. It seems to be a war on testosterone, a war on masculinity. Now, just because it targets testosterone doesn't mean that it's good for women either. But let's continue reading here. First, you may be wondering what the heck is the demasculinization and feminization of male gonads. Put plainly, atrazine shrinks testicles, reduces sperm count, and can even make males grow ovaries. Or, as the authors put it, demasculinization is a decrease in male gonads' characteristics, including decreases in testicular size, decreases in Sertoli cell number, decreases in sperm production, and decreases in androgen production. So I hit this new study here. Boom. It's going to take you to this. UPI, atrazine reproductive issues reviewed. Champaign, Illinois. Consistent patterns of reproductive problems were found in amphibians, fish, reptiles, and mammals exposed to the herbicide atrazine, a U.S. researcher said. Van Beasley, a University of Illinois professor emeritus, was part of an international team of scientists who reviewed the evidence on atrazine in North and South America, Europe, and Japan, the university said Monday. The report appears in the Journal of Steroid Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Excuse me. The review said atrazine is the second most commonly used pesticide and the most common contaminant of groundwater, surface water, and rain in the United States. Beasley said at least 10 studies found exposure to atrazine feminizes male frogs, sometimes to the point of sex reversal. So it's making male frogs lay eggs. And the studies found atrazine exposure can change the expression of genes involved in hormone signaling, interference, and metamorphosis, inhibit key enzymes that control estrogen and androgen production, skew the sex ratio of wild and laboratory animals, and otherwise disrupt the normal reproductive development of functioning and male frogs. I mean, that's a scary thought that the second most commonly used pesticide is disrupting the natural chemical cycle of animals in our ecosystem. Of course, it's the frogs. You might think, oh, that's not a big deal, but what eats frogs, right? Birds, reptiles, other mammals, rodents, and they're absorbing it. Not to mention it's already in the water, so it's just creating a imbalance in nature. So we're gonna go to this one. This is the EPA, atrazine. This is their definition and their explanation of this. Atrazine is widely used herbicide. All right, is a triazine chemical class which includes simazine and propazine. Now, I've never heard of those two, but I'm going to go ahead and look into that maybe at a later time. It is used primarily in agriculture with the greatest use on corn, sorghum, and sugarcane. I've already stated that. It is used on residential lawns and golf courses, particularly in the southeast United States. So it's used on golf courses and residential lawns. Now that's basically direct human contact right there. Even children. So if your children are young, running on your yard, and you're spraying this stuff on them, knowing that it's chemically altering other species of animals, it'd be hard to think that it's safe. And especially there's no long-term studies affecting this. Well, I got to take that back. See, the long-term studies could just be looking at the just testosterone levels of males in the United States. It's all decreasing. I mean, the males today, including myself, I mean, we're probably not even the same type of males that were around 100 years ago. You know, I mean, the guys there built all this blood, sweat, and tears, and you'd be hard pressed to find that same group of men with that same mentality now. And you can't even blame the men in general for this. It's just our bodies are being ravaged by these chemicals. And I mean, you look at plastics, it's not like any like BPA, bisphenol A is estrogen mimicking. So you have to take into account the atrazine exposure doing to your endocrine system on top of the BPA ravaging your endocrine system. The foods that we're eating. I mean, you have a bowl of cereal, you're getting ravaged by this stuff on top of the sugar, because corn and sugar are both used. All right, let's go back to this. Went on my little tangent there. In September 2020, EPA released the interim registration review decisions for atrazine, propazine, and simazine, which concludes the current round of registration review for the triazines. As part of the decision, EPA finalizes mitigation measures to protect human health and mitigate potential ecological risk. EPA completes interim registration review decisions to impose interim risk mitigation measures necessary to protect human health and the environment. While the agency conducts other longer-term assessments, such as the endangered species assessment. This is going to go on to the specifics of the EPA registration of this chemical. I think the last time I went on this, it was under review. I think a lot of the company is trying to increase the usage of it. And the last I read, I think it was supposed to be, if passed, because it's going through a review right now, but I think it's going to end by 2023, then we could be looking at a 50% increase across the board of this chemical being used on corn and sugar. All right, this is the biological report. It's a PDF here that you can download and you read if you want. Of course, you can just look up here. You can copy that URL. Hazards to fish, wildlife, and invertebrates. I'm going to go ahead and just read a little bit of the summary here. The herbicide atrazine, 2-chloro-4-ethylamino, 6-isopropylamino, 1,3,5-triazine is the most heavily used agricultural pesticide in North America. In the United States alone, more than 50 million kilograms or 110 million pounds are applied annually to more than 25 million hectares, I think that means, but 62 million acres. Primarily to control weeds in corn and sorghum, residues have been detected at phytotoxic concentrations in groundwater, lakes, and streams as a result of runoff from treated fields. Now, I saw a little map here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Some map that showed just the chemical. Bear with me here. Gonna see if I can find it real quick. Let's see if this is it. Oop. Thank you. Here we go. This seems to be it. Yeah. So this is a chemical map that's showing the contamination across the U.S. Now, if you see, California is pretty ravaged. East Coast heavily damaged, and this right here, this basically affects me. I live in Indiana, and I mean, if you live in Michigan, uh, get out of there. It just seems, on top of the, what was it, the Flint, Michigan disaster, and you just look at the contamination across the board, it seems to be just a wasteland for chemical dumps. I mean, you can't even see Michigan on this map because it's dumped all over the place in the drinking water, military sites, other known sites, probably in reserves, wildlife reserves. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. All right, let's go back here real quick. Residues have been detected at. I read that part. Atrazine degrades rapidly, usually by way of hydrolysis, nitrogen dealkalization, and splitting of the triazine ring to less toxic compounds not normally inhibitory to plants and animals. Sensitive species of aquatic experience temporary but reversible adverse effects at concentrations in the range of 1 to 5 milligram of atrazine. However, potentially harmful phototoxic concentrations of atrazine can be found at less than 10 milligrams for extended periods, not been documented in the environment, and are probably unrealistic under current applications and degradation rates. But if they're constantly dumping it, I guess they're betting on the half-life that'll just reduce. But I mean, you're eating this stuff. Aquatic fauna are indirectly affected. Direct adverse effects to aquatic invertebrates and fish, measured at 94 milligrams and higher. I mean, this is a lot of scientific. Can't say mumbo jumbo. It's important, but I thought it was gonna get a lot more. Basically, it's saying atrazine has been detected in lakes and streams. I mean, it ranges from a little bit to holy hell, get out of there levels. Concentration peaks during spring, which is usually the time they apply all their chemicals to their crops. So all that runoff is in there. I mean, you can go ahead and read this whole thing. Mind you, this was 1986. So right then and there, they've already known that this has a huge runoff and a huge effect on wildlife. Lakes from Canada, stream waters, cornfields, frog water. Oh, frog water. Okay, it may also affect atrazine. Man. It seems they're trying to explain away here. Let's go here. Boom. Go to pnas.org. Atrazine induces complete feminization and chemical castration in male African clawed frogs. So atrazine exposed males were both demasculinized, chemically castrated, and completely feminized as adults. 10% of the exposed genetic males developed into functional females that copulated with unexposed males and produced viable eggs. Atrazine exposed males suffer from depressed testosterone, decreased breeding gland size, demasculinized feminized laryngeal development, suppress mating behavior, reduce spermatogenesis, and decrease fertility. These data are consistent with the effects of atrazine observed in other vertebrate classes. So this study here just showed that it's fucking up some frogs, and it's probably fucking us up too. It seems to be just a war on males in general. I mean, if you have a country full of strong men, I don't think you'd be able to get away with even a fraction of the garbage that they get away with now. I mean, like I said before, the current breed of men are probably just not the same as they were 100 years ago, 200 years ago. I mean, you add the chemical castration part to the overall attack on men in general. I mean, just everywhere you look, males are bad, toxic masculinity and stuff like that. I don't know. It's looking more and more dangerous. I mean, you have this attack on masculinity, you have the attack on God, you have this attack on spirituality, just basically just attack on the human spirit altogether. And it all starts with the chemicals we absorb. It's not looking good. All right, maybe another video I can go into a more in-depth look at this stuff. If you guys show me some more information, you guys could just send me a message. Just yeah, we have to stay vigilant. We have to know what we're eating. We have to know what the people at the top are doing. And I mean, I know this is tough. I mean, what can you do? Just avoid corn, avoid sugar, which is almost everything. It's tough. All right, thank you. Signing off.